Let's begin our story in the early 1820s in Dorchester County, Maryland. A baby girl named Araminta Ross was born into slavery. She would later be known to the world as Harriet Tubman. As a child, Harriet worked on a plantation, often doing hard labor in the fields and as a house servant. Life was very difficult. Enslaved people had no freedom, were treated unfairly, and had no say over their own lives. Harriet's family was often separated, her sisters were sold away, and she lived in constant fear that she might be too. Even as a child, she showed great strength and courage. One day she was hit in the head with a heavy weight when she tried to help another enslaved person. This injury caused her to have painful headaches and fainting spells for the rest of her life. But Harriet believed these dreams and visions were messages from God guiding her path. In her late 20s, around 1849, Harriet made a bold decision. She would escape. One night, she quietly left the plantation and began her dangerous journey north. She used the stars to guide her, walked through forests, crossed rivers, and hid in barns. She finally made it to Pennsylvania, a free state. Harriet was free, but she couldn't rest knowing others were still enslaved. She wanted to go back and help her family and others escape too. That's when she joined something very special, something called the Underground Railroad. Now, the Underground Railroad wasn't a real railroad with trains. It was a secret network of safe houses, helpers, and hidden paths that led enslaved people to freedom. Harriet Tubman became one of its most famous conductors. She returned to the South again and again, leading groups of people, children, adults, and the elderly to safety. She risked everything. If she was caught, she could be punished or even killed. But Harriet never turned back. She carried no map and often had no supplies. But she had faith, courage, and determination. She once said, "I never ran my train off the track and I never lost a passenger." Over time, Harriet Tubman rescued about 70 people in 13 missions and helped guide over 700 others in total through her leadership and advice. When the Civil War began in 1861, Harriet Tubman wanted to help. She joined the Union Army as a cook and nurse. But soon the Army saw her true talents. She became a scout and spy. Using her knowledge of the South and her skills from the Underground Railroad, Harriet helped the Union gather important information. She even helped lead a raid on the Combahee River in South Carolina. This mission freed over 700 enslaved people in a single night. She became the first African American woman to lead an armed expedition in the war. She wasn't just helping from behind the scenes, she was right there on the front lines of history. After the war ended in 1865, Harriet Tubman returned to Auburn, New York. Life wasn't easy. Even though she was a hero, she didn't get paid for much of her work during the war. Still, she never stopped helping others. She opened her home to those in need. She built a place where older African Americans could live safely and with dignity. She also spoke at events about women's rights and equality. Harriet believed that all people, black or white, man or woman, deserved respect and freedom. Harriet Tubman was deeply religious. She believed God was guiding her life. Her faith helped her make tough decisions and stay brave even when things seemed impossible. She never took credit for her work. She always said it was God who gave her the strength. Harriet Tubman became a symbol of hope, courage, and justice. She showed that one person, no matter their size, background, or obstacles, can change the world. Even though Harriet Tubman never asked for praise, people began to recognize her greatness. Schools were named after her. Books were written about her. In 1908, just a few years before she died, the Harriet Tubman Home for the Aged opened in Auburn, New York. This was a dream she worked hard to build. In 2016, it was announced that Harriet Tubman would appear on the new $20 bill, honoring her as one of America's greatest heroes. She was the first African American woman to be given such an honor. Harriet Tubman passed away in 1913, but her spirit is still alive today. Her bravery taught people that doing the right thing isn't always easy, but it's always worth it. Every time someone stands up for what's right, fights for freedom, or helps someone in need, they carry on Harriet Tubman's legacy. Her story teaches us to be brave, to care for others, and to never give up, no matter how big the challenge may seem. If you like this video and would like to see more content like this, please give it a thumbs up. Feel free to leave a comment, share with others, and subscribe to our channel.